All right. I'm back. I am back from Techo. Had a weekend where I was away. And in the meantime, a One Piece chapter came out, and I did do the review. I was able to get the review done while I was at Techo in Pittsburgh. I filmed it in the hotel. I did the review. But there's still, like, this was a big chapter, right? 1155. There was so much stuff packed into this chapter that I was like, and you know, to just, like, to illustrate this, okay? So, like, Thursday happens, and I'm like kind of hoping the chapter came out early Thursday so I could have recorded the review before I left to go to the convention. And literally like 10 minutes on the road, like I am not even out of like the vicinity of my like home yet. Like I'm driving like 10 minutes down the highway and I get an alert on my phone that's like chapter's out, and I'm like, well, great. So I got to the hotel, and then I got registered for the con and everything, and then I started to do the review that night, and I got it out. So I was able to get that done. But yes, this is a lot of stuff to talk about in this chapter, guys. So let's just all filter in, everybody. Teching, are you satisfied with Wang? You know, Wang was not what I was expecting. I did not expect Wang to have that appearance. Now, Gonzui, hold on a second now. I think we need to start focusing on Gonzui a little bit here. Yeah, let's take a look at Gonzui. You know, we've all seen Wang now, but Gonzui, I mean, oh boy. Look at those shoulder pads, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that beard. Now I can shout out Wang Zhi. Yes. I'll be doing another video about Wang. Don't worry about it. Yes. Everyone, Wang is related to Caribou. Teching, Moria. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's just open up with that immediately. So everybody pretty much immediately was like, wait a minute, Wang looks like two characters from One Piece. It's very obvious. They are obviously Caribou and Caribou. And I look at them and I'm just like, well, clearly Moria. So let's let's see here. All right. Let's look at Caribou and Caribou. Let's see here. Let's take a look at probably the Numa video is probably going to include an image of both of them together. Okay. Is like, yeah. Okay, so here's Caribou. Yeah, we have Caribou right here. It's just like, yep, there's Caribou. And then let's see if I can find one with his brother. His brother does not have a devil fruit power, so I never made a video about it. There we go. By the way, Caribou, always, that's not his hairstyle. He literally just has an iguana on his head. Like, it's an actual iguana that just hangs out on his head all the time. So if you ever thought he had hair, no, it was an iguana. So, yeah, if you look at Wang's got very similar facial features and like his tongue, although Wang's tongue is like forked, kind of like a snake, and Caribou's tongue is not like that, I would assume, but just like the way they look is very clearly like that. I never received my berry plushies. The berry plushies are delayed. Once again, that's a thing. Every time I have to do a stream, I have to bring that up. I apologize so much for that. I really wanted them to be out by July because I was going to give them out at the con. But they will be out eventually. It's just taking an extra time, a few months because of tariff situation and stuff. But yeah, they will be released. You will receive your vampire berry plushies. Yes. It's my girlfriend and I's 4-year anniversary. I love the chapter review. Excited to watch this stream later when she is asleep. Okay. Okay. I will say this. When I was at the con yesterday and I was doing the One Piece trivia contest, which I'm going to do a video. I've recorded that and it's going to be up like I did last year. It was a crazy time. It was a packed house. We had over 200 people in there. It was insane. It was a lot of people. But after the contest was over and everybody won, there was like people coming up to do autographs and pictures and stuff. I think there were like 2 or 3 people that came up like simultaneously and were like, yeah, our girlfriends slash fiancés slash significant other hates your voice because I'm always watching your videos and like you're always on in the background, and I'm just like, I am so sorry. So that was really funny. But anyway, yeah. So a lot of people are saying, yeah, Caribou and Caribou are actually the children of Wang. And it even makes more sense. I saw something today, somebody brought up, you know how like Caribou's like really sadistic? So like when he murders people with like a shovel, he like prays. He's like, oh, great pirate Jesus or whatever, forgive them for their sins, as he's like brutally murdering them, right? And so Wang has the title of Pirate Guru. Now, the actual word in Japanese that they use is Kaizoku Kyoso. All right. So Kyoso and the kanjis that are used here can mean a few different things. And for that reason, I've seen a few different translations of that title. Okay. So Kyoso, we have the kanji for kyo, which can mean teachings or religion or a particular doctrine. Then we have so, which in this context means ancestor, founder, or originator. So you could look at this in a particular way where it could read religious founder or a founder of a cult or some such like that. It is very possible, okay? So I have seen pirate cultist, I've seen pirate guru, I've seen prophet. Okay, so there's a few different ways to look at this. Guru might be a more neutral way of like, it could kind of go one way or the other. Viz uses guru. Okay, the TCB translation, I believe, used prophet, and the spoilers, the text spoilers, used cultist. I am sort of leaning towards like pirate cultist right now, because that is an angle of this that we have like never taken before. You know, like a pirate captain that's leading a crew that's like in the vein of like, he is our Messiah, he is like our pirate Jesus. There might have been another example of this. I'm trying to go through the example here. Like, Eneru set himself up as God, but Eneru wasn't really a pirate. You know what I mean? He was really setting himself up as like a god. Buggy, okay. Yes, Buggy, but like Buggy himself, okay. Buggy bumblefucked his way into getting into the status of that. Hawkins, kind of. Like, Buggy did not seek out to, like, get people to follow him like a prophet, right? Buggy just kind of ended up, like, the people that followed him gave him that title as, like, oh, you are our savior, Captain Buggy, we love you. And Buggy was just like, all right, I guess. Like, he's just, like, you know, managing to get up there to that point, right? But if Ochoku or Wang was a guy that was literally like, no, I am going to create a religion. Like, I'm actively going to start a religion, a pirate religion that other pirates can follow me on. And I'm going to be like, you know, following in like the footsteps of a lot of like horrible cultist leaders in our world, right? Like, I'm actually going to like brainwash, indoctrinate people, get them to follow my point of view. And like, and he eventually ends up leading Hachinosu. And, oh, by the way, that's something we can talk about. The fact that Hachinosu was ruled by Wang with an iron fist for a very long time, and Blackbeard could not even oust him on his own. He needed, like, Law and Kobe there as well. Like Blackbeard admitted, like, I needed Kobe in order to take out Wang. Like, Blackbeard straight up thanked him for that. Like, oh, if it wasn't for you, Zeha, I would have never defeated Wang. Blackbeard tried to go up against Wang. That wasn't a smart move, you know, because he was Wang. By the way, Wang Zhi would have been pushing like 90 fucking years old at that point, so my God. Now, here's the reason why I immediately jumped to Moria, too. And I'm not completely, like, doubting the fact that Moria might not be involved here, okay? So, Moria, see if we got an image of him here. Here's an image of him when he was at Roger's execution, right? Here's Moria, right before he started his pirate journey. There are similarities between Wang and Moria. You know, I don't know if it's like makeup or just the way he has purple lips and stuff like that. But yeah, looks kind of more demonic. Like, I could see it as Moria being related to Wang in some way. Also, Moria ended up getting his hands on Gonzui's corpse and Gil Bastar's corpse and Captain John's corpse. And anybody else from probably some other people too from the Rocks Pirates, honestly. So those are 3 corpses from like the strongest pirate crew that ever did Pirate Crew. Where is Moria getting these fucking corpses? Like, seriously, like, I'm just saying, like, if Wang Zhi was the ruler of Pirate Island and he was related to Moria in some way, he was Moria's daddy or some shit, I don't know, and all of the corpses from these strong-ass pirates ended up on Hachinosu, and Moria ended up getting his hands on them and turning them into zombies, there's something going on there. Either Moria's the luckiest son of a bitch ever, or he had an inside, like, guy or something like that, okay? Also, I don't know if this is relevant, but the way that Moria just immediately goes to Hachinosu, here you see Thriller Bark, or like, see, by the way, I don't know if this is supposed to be the actual Thriller Bark. I don't think it is. I think this is just a ship that's like a miniature version of Thriller Bark, because Perona goes back to Thriller Bark during, like after she drops off Zoro at Sabaody to get her hands on Kumashi. And then she goes back to Kurigana Island where Mihawk lives. And I think while that was going on, Moria went to Hachinosu. I don't think this is Thriller Bark, but it looks a lot like Thriller Bark, right? So anyway, wasn't he a warlord? Do you think he has ties to the government, could have granted him those bodies? Dude, I don't know how that would even work. The idea that Gonzui, Captain John, and Gil Bastar all died on Hachinosu makes way more sense than them all dying on God Valley, you know, like, and then Moria turning God Valley into Thriller Bark and stuff like that. That's also a possibility. Maybe it's a mini Thriller Bark. Yeah. Ochoko's tongue reminds me of Caribou. Did Caribou have like a split, like serpent tongue? Hold on. Let me check on that really quick. I don't think he does. I think he just has like a really long, creepy Voldemort. Well, Voldemort did have a serpent tongue because he was a serpent. Oh, but wait a minute. Hold on a second. No, he doesn't. He just has like, yeah, he just has like a really long, creepy tongue. He just has a long tongue. But what about, hey guys, what about this person? What if we're way off track here? What if Wang is not related to Moria or Caribou or Korobo, but he's actually related to a distorted image? Hold on a minute. Let me fix that. Remember when Caribou had his cover story and he landed on that island and he was confused for a revolutionary that looked a lot like him? Gaburu. What if this is the child of Wang? Right here. Gaburu, the revolutionary. What if it was that guy the whole time? You never know. Rox has more feats in 2 chapters than Mihawk and Dragon. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, let's make a list of all the strong-ass people in One Piece that have yet to do something cool. So Dragon, even have not done super crazy. I'm writing down Shanks. I'm writing down Mihawk. They've obviously done some cool shit, but I'm going to write down Dragon, Mihawks. Just give me names of really strong characters in One Piece. Let's just do that. So we got Dragon, we got Shanks, we got Mihawk. I'm going to write Roger down even though he's dead. We got a Kainu. Yeah, we got a Kainu. We got Garling. Yeah, Garling's cool. Like Garp, obviously. Yeah, there's Garp. Sengoku. Yeah, Sengoku's going on the list. Come on, just give me strong character names. Don Krieg! Krieg versus Wang this Friday night. Rayleigh, obviously Rayleigh's going on there. Whitebeard's going on there. Yeah. You know, like we'll put Kaido. Kong. Yeah, Kong. Let's see. Gaimon, Mihawk. Already have Mihawk. Fuck it, I'll put Suru on there. She's one of the strongest vice admirals. Shamrock. Yeah, Shamrock's got to go on there. Loki. Luffy. I'll put Loki. I'll put Luffy. I'll put Zoro. You know. Chow Chow, the dog. Ben Beckman. Sure. Ben Beckman. Yeah. Okay, give me a few more, then I'll fill up the page really quick. Let's see. Fujitora, fine. I'll put, like, all the admirals, but fine. I'll put Fujitora. I'll put Akainu. I'll put Aokiji. Put Kizaru. Let's see, what else do we have here? Whoop Slap. Yeah, Boruto. Get out of here. Okay, these are enough. All right, look at all these names of really strong characters right here, okay? And guess what? I think right now, in the last chapter, with that scene of Rocks hanging out in the room of flowers, I think he lords over all of them right now. These people have some serious aura farming to work on. Holy shit. All right? It's going to take some work, all right, to get up there. Whew. That scene where he's just chilling out in the flower room, holding a pistol, sitting down, not even like serious, not even like holding a gun at Emu's face, like, I'll do it, I'll shoot you. No, it's just like hanging out, one of his, just resting his arm on his knee, has his pistol, just staring down the shadowy ruler of the entire world, just being like, hey there, how you doing? Okay, so let's go through that scene. Let me pull up the official translation. Let's go through that scene really quick. Let's break that shit down. Down D stairs. That is a very powerful One Piece character. All right. 5 kings have been attacked and captured. I'm going to pause right there. Some people have said those might be the Gorosei. I doubt it. The Gorosei have never been referred to as kings, and the idea that they could just be captured and taken away easily would not work. So definitely I don't think it was the Gorosei. I think it was just like, now maybe not 5 random kings. They might be kings of, like, lands and kingdoms that we know about already. But it might have been a former... By the way, what happened to the kings? Were they freed, or did Rocks just like, well, I captured you 5 kings to try to extort the ruler of the world, and the kings are like, wait a minute, there's a ruler of the world? Bam, 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 bam. Well, that didn't work out. All right, let's leave. Did he just kill them, or did he let them go? Like, what? We never got an update on that. Yeah, the Gorosei are never referred to as kings. There was not the Gorosei. 5 kings have been attacked and captured. It's an abduction. They were taken by a large man dressed in black, who I guess they confuse Harold, even though Rocks... Okay, Rocks by, like, One Piece standards is probably, like, 12 feet tall or some shit like that. He's probably a big guy. Harold is, like, 80 meters tall. Harold is absurdly tall. So maybe there was, like, some crossed wires there. But anyway... We are now cutting to the inside of the flower room where we just see Emu playing with the butterflies. I want to mention, Emu was terrified when Joy Boy's hockey was felt, when the hockey nuke went off at Egghead, like a far distance away. Emu was like sweating and was like, Joy Boy! Ah! He was like terrified. Here he's pretty chill. Eames pretty chill. Doesn't really seem to give a fuck that someone broke into his private garden area and playing with his butterflies. Now, if it was Wang that broke into the flower room, I think Emu would have been sweating bullets there when faced with Wang. Okay? Yeah, Joy Boy is nothing compared to Wang. But anyway, yeah, just important to mention, Emu didn't care. Okay? So... I just want to talk about the overall vibe of this meeting here, all right? Emu is not trying to kill Rocks, and Rocks is not trying to kill Emu. He probably took one shot at him, I would assume. It would have been a nice little touch if that pistol was smoking, right? Like, if like, Rocks had at least tried, like, because why wouldn't you, right? Like, why wouldn't you at least, like, I hear you're the immortal ruler of the world. And Emu's like, yes, I am. Boom! Shot right in the head. And Emu just kind of like, did you really think that would work? As like, you didn't think it was like Kill Bill same, like, you didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? And Rox is like, well, actually, for a second there, I kind of did. he's got to at least attempt to try that, right? Like, why wouldn't you? There's no, even if it doesn't work, there's no backlash. It's like, all right. So it's not just the fact that Rox could not kill Emu, because that makes sense, but Emu did not even attempt to kill Rox. Emu can fight. We've seen it. Emu can turn into a giant, giant monster with teeth and can at least... I just want to throw out something right now. Emu's greatest feat, just by themselves in combat, like direct combat, is stabbing Sabo and murdering Cobra, who was like an old man in a wheelchair. It's not like the greatest feats ever. I guess you could say Emu killed Saturn by taking the power away, but that was like another ability, and possessing Gunko and, making people turn evil. But I'm talking about like strictly like combat. Like the people that Emu has directly killed. Honestly, is just Cobra. It's just Cobra, honestly. In terms of straight up power. Yeah. So anyway, why did Emu not kill Rox? Let's start there. Does Rox have a devil fruit? We do not know, but he also has a very interesting sword style. It was talked about. His attacks were famous for blasting everything in sight like a giant hammer or a cannonball. So he might have some kind of devil fruit that like increases the force of the swings or something like that. That could definitely be a power. I mentioned it might be similar to the Moa Noami, the ability that Burn D World has in 3D2Y. Not the exact same ability to make things like the larger attacks, like the cannonballs bigger physically, but like amplifies the power like an impact dial or a reject dial does. But it's in devil fruit form kind of thing, right? Yeah, but like more powerful than Gladius's fruit. Like not Gladius's fruit kind of did make things expand and then pop. It was the pop fruit. This would be something else. This would be like I'm swinging my sword and I'm going to increase the sword's like kinetic energy times 1,000 or something. Like bam, and then slices like mountains and cracks continents in half and shit like that, right? Or maybe his sword had a devil fruit. Same basic idea, just give the power to an inanimate object. Although we've never seen an inanimate object have a paramecia before, so that would be interesting. Like that quirk Deku had. Yeah, like that quirk Deku had. Like gear shift. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. All right. But anyway, yeah, let's go back here a moment. Let's see. I did not go to the Pirates game in Pittsburgh, but it was sold out like crazy, and the reason I found out was because they were giving out a limited edition bobblehead at the Pittsburgh Pirates game. So, like, the hotel I normally book was completely filled up, and I think that was the reason why. So I had to stay at a different hotel because all the rooms were booked. I'm like, why? Apparently, they were giving out a limited edition bobblehead at PNC Park. That was the reason. But no, I saw the game from across the river because that's where the convention center was. But yeah. But let's see. Let's go back up here. Just read some comments here. Let's see here. Eating Sabo's attack. That was an ability. Doesn't that kind of upscale Cobra? A little bit. Cobra in his wheelchair was actually something to be commended. He was pretty strong. I want Marlin... Every time he kills someone, send the person's crew or family a fish. Oh yeah, swimming with the fishes, Godfather reference, or a horse head. That would be something too. Yeah. Or maybe he has Whitebeard's devil fruit back in the day. Ooh. I don't think it's the same thing in the way it's depicted as the Quake fruit, but good idea. We don't know if Whitebeard had that power back then. We know he has the Bicento, but we don't know if he has the Gura Nomi. Limited edition Wang Zhi bobblehead. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's true. Oh, that's something else that's fun. Zebek in Vietnamese is buggy, or like B-A-G-I, something like that. People have translated it to the point where it's like, it kind of looks like Buggy. Hey, I'm okay with Rox being the dad of Buggy. He can have more than one kid. In fact, I could see that as like a misdirect, right? Like Oda reveals like, oh yeah, Rox, father of Blackbeard, right out of the gate. And then we find out later, it's like, oh, I revealed that he was the father of Blackbeard. I didn't say he was the father of anybody else. Also, his wanted poster looks exactly like Buggy's, where Buggy's like holding up his hand like this. it's the exact same kind of pose. So a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, what if Buggy is also the son of rocks? But you know what's going to happen? If that, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with Buggy being the father of the son of rocks. But I'm telling you what right now, if that happens, Buggy has to fight Blackbeard. Buggy has to fight maybe his half-brother, Blackbeard. And I want that fight to actually be fucking cool. I don't want it to be just Blackbeard being like, killed Buggy, not a big deal. No. I want to see Blackbeard going up against Buggy and the entire Buggy's delivery service. Like, we fight for our Messiah, Captain Buggy! I want to see it, man. I want to see it. Oh, Marlon kind of looks like Shiryu's dad. Yeah, he kind of does. Where does the name Tekking 101 come from? I got it from an episode of Zoe 101 back in like 2006. Yeah, that's the story. There you go. Emu is actually a snail. Ooh. Okay, here's a question. Let's do a poll on this actually, because I'm genuinely curious. Do you think Emu's appearance will be funny? Like, do you think Oda's actually gonna go silly with it? Yes or no? Like, we find out Emu's face or their real body or what they are, and it's actually played for a comedy. It's actually like, that was what Emu was the whole time. Oh my God, Oda, you're really funny. Or is he going to play it serious? Like, it was actually Lily the whole time. Oh no, Emu's hot. She's so hot. She's going to be a baddie. I can feel it. Oh my goodness. The funny answer would be yes. Oh my God. I will get into these super chats in a moment. Thanks to everybody for being a little patient with that. Emu better be hot. Like, well, we will see. Turns out Emu is a skeleton. And then Brooke finds her attractive. It's like that one time, like, Chopper is not interested in, like, humans because Chopper's a reindeer. But then Milky, the mink, shows up and immediately he's, like, smitten with her. Same thing for Brooke, except she's a skeleton. And then Brooke starts singing a love ballad. You know, like, that would be great. That would be great. What if Emu is emo? I think Emu is already confirmed to be emo, just like how much of a drama queen Emu is. Yeah. I would love Emu to have a red nose like Buggy. Yeah, that's going to be something. That's going to be the twist. Oh, man. Or, yeah, Emu's going to be like a big, fat, sweaty, hairy dude. Like, just, like, it doesn't even match the silhouette at all. Like, the silhouette is like this super thin character that's, like, very tall and lanky. Takes off the cloak and just expands outward like, my name's Emu. Like, that's the reveal. How was the con? Oh, Techo was great this year. Thanks to everybody that came out. We did a panel just with like a Q&A panel. We had like 50 people in there. That was a lot of fun. And then the next day, oh my God, it was insane how many people showed up for that. There was a giant line of people. It just kept going outside of the panel room. And I was going down the line and like talking to everybody. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope we have enough forms, because there was like a 215 person maximum. I think my friend told me, like, he counted all the chairs. And then like that we filled like every seat, and there were people standing along the sides of the room that just like it was filled to capacity. And it was like, thankfully not everybody was playing by themselves. Like, they had like groups. So only had like one piece of paper per group, thank God, because otherwise I would have ran out of paper. But I didn't run out of clipboards or paper. So it worked out this year. I actually have a few left over. Yeah. It was great. It was great. Yeah. You'll see that in a video. I'm gonna put out the game show video this week. Got to edit that up still. Emo's gonna actually be the fish from SpongeBob. Breaking news! One piece of paper. Yeah, that was the joke everybody said. Make sure to take one piece of paper. And everybody's like, the One Piece is real. Oh, we did a big group L-Bath too. We all shouted, L-Bath! That was really fun as well. It was a great time. Yes. Emu's laugh is moo-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. Oh, happy with Rox's intro. Dad tier next. Yeah, I got to do the dad tier list, absolutely. Let's go over to the super chats, though, real quick. Let's go over to those. See what we got here. Let's see here. Okay. Huge fan of the channel from back in the Bleach days. I've heard that a lot this past weekend, too. A lot of people are like, man, Techie, I've been watching you since Bleach. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much. Never miss a video. Oh, and then the berry plushie. Yes, we talked about that. They are coming. Oh yeah, that was the one about the girlfriend's like tired of my voice in the background when anybody watches my videos. I am so sorry. I apologize in advance. I apologize in advance if like your boyfriend is watching me in this live stream right now and you're in the background like, oh my God, this guy again. I'm like, I'm really sorry. What other unique sword styles would you like to see? I want to see one like Mifune from... Oh, dude. Mifune's sword style was so fucking creative and original in Soul Eater. I had never seen like anything like that before. That was such a good story. Soul Eater, there are so many people I saw cosplaying. There was a girl that was cosplaying as Maka, and the scythe looked so real, and everything. Like, they went really all out for it. And like, I just walked by this group of Soul Eater cosplays doing like a photo shoot, me and my friend Patrick, and I'm just like, Soul Eater needs to get another fucking anime like now. Like, it deserves it so bad the whole way through. And the thing is, the Soul Eater anime wasn't even like poorly animated. It was animated incredibly. It just, there needs to be another one. Anyway, yeah, there needs to be more like interesting sword styles in One Piece for sure. Oda seems to be kind of set in his way though of like 4 sword styles, 6 sword style, 10 sword style. So maybe there will be a fucking 1,000 sword style or something like that. I don't know. Infinity sword style like with Mifune. Yeah. Rox and Buggy's resemblance is crazy. It is there. I will admit there is a resemblance. Yes. Wang Zhi and Elbaf. Liam from Grand Line Review, yes, got asked a question about Rox following Blackbeard and when he finds out he's Rox's son. Thoughts? About Rox following Blackbeard when he finds out. Wait, I'm trying to... Okay, hold on. Let me read this again. Okay, Wang Zhi and Elbaf. Okay, so Liam got asked a question about Rox following... I'm confused about the context of this question, because it seems to be like Blackbeard following Rox, but Rox would be dead, or like if like Rox didn't die. We don't know if Rox is dead, period, by the way, so we don't know. Hold on a minute. Let me just check the chat. Like, what is the actual, like, maybe the reference here? Like, hold on. We gotta wait for Mihawk. Yep. Let's see. How do you feel about the Will of Davy Jones theory? Yeah, like there's separate, like, well, clearly Rox has the Will of D too. It's just that maybe like Davy Jones and Joy Boy maybe work together at some point, right? Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta do, I might do a video on chess. It might happen at some point. Maybe. Following in his like footsteps, maybe. Yeah. So I am still split here on exactly like, if Blackbeard knew from the beginning that he was Rox's son, or he found out later. I'm thinking he found out at some point on Whitebeard's crew. Okay, because he was like a 10-year-old kid or some such when he was picked up by Whitebeard, or maybe a little older. I'm thinking there was maybe a journal or some kind of like record that Rox kept and ended up with Blackbeard somehow, or maybe Whitebeard told him about him, but it's kind of weird that like Whitebeard would tell Blackbeard about it, because Whitebeard didn't seem to really give a shit about that kind of stuff, about like your real family or like your blood relations. It's more about your found family kind of thing. So like, that's going to have to be answered first, you know, like how did even... Now, obviously, Blackbeard knew about it eventually, because he has a ship called the Saber of Zebek. Like, obviously, he knows now. But when did that happen, and when did he decide, like, Zehaha, I will follow in my father's footsteps? Something like that. I don't really know. I'm thinking it happened somewhere on Whitebeard's ship. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I need to check something in the records. Hold on a minute. Let me pull up volume here. Hold up. All right. I'm assuming it's probably 45 or 46. All right, hold on a second. Hold on. We'll take a pause for the super chats here in a minute. Where did I leave off? This one right here. Okay, I'll get back to the super chats in a minute. Hold on. I need to make a record on this for something. Okay, so 45. So where did Ace fight Blackbeard? That was probably, yeah, right here, volume 46. Okay, so Blackbeard's fighting Ace here. Okay, here we go. So it's when they were talking before the fight actually started. They were talking about Thatch getting murdered and shit. Duel on Bonaro Island. No, actually, no. It was at the very tail end of Volume 45. Fire Fist versus Blackbeard. Here we go. This is what I needed right here. Okay. All right. Okay. Or maybe it was after the fight started. I think it might have been after the fight started. Oh, no. Here it is. Okay, yeah. It was after the fight started, but it was very early on. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yes, I killed Thatch, the number 4 division commander, with my own hands. I didn't have a choice, Ace. He got the devil fruit I was searching for. According to our rules, the one who finds a devil fruit has the right to eat it. I memorized all the shapes of the devil fruits in the identification manual, so I instantly realized that was the fruit I had searched for all my life. I stayed on Whitebeard's ship for decades because I knew that was my best chance of finding that devil fruit. All right. The way I was looking for a line that said something like, the reason he joined Whitebeard was because of that. Yeah. Something along those lines. And he looks away from the chat. Sorry. I'll get back to him. Thanks for a great time at my first Techo. Oh, thank you very much, Sarah. Yes. It was so much fun. Let's see here. Was Thatch strong? He was the 4th Division commander. Then again, being a commander doesn't necessarily mean you're, like, the most powerful character ever, because, like, Fossa is a commander, and he's Fossa, so, yeah. But I will say, like, the top 5 seem pretty damn powerful. Like, Marco is pretty damn strong. Ace was pretty damn strong. Jozu and Vista, both pretty goddamn strong. And they've also been on the crew for a long-ass time. Thatch was not on the crew during Odin's flashback, though. We did not see Thatch then. So he must have joined later. But he was 4th Division Commander. He was the chef. So he might have been pretty strong. Yeah. Don't worry. It'll be on there. It should be on the list of everything. Fossa is Yonko level. Fossa is... I don't know why I singled out Fossa. Sorry, Fossa. Fossa is the 15th Division Commander. He's the one that uses a flaming sword. That's his thing. This is Fossa. It's not even a devil fruit or anything. He just lights the sword on fire with his cigar. He douses his sword in, like, kerosene and lights it on fire. That's basically his fighting style. That's Fossa. I'm sorry, Fossa, but you're not Yonko level, all right? Yeah. King Do is basically He-Man. King Do is 100% He-Man. By the power of Grayskull! Okay, so anywho, yeah, I'm not sure if Blackbeard joined because he knew about Rox and he needed to get his hands on the Yami Yami no Mi. Maybe Rox had the Yami Yami no Mi, and he's like, okay, I need that devil fruit. The best chance I have at finding it is being on a crew of a really strong pirate. Whitebeard shows up at the town. He's like, please, you got to take me on your ship. I have nowhere else to go. Maybe he was lying. He just really wanted to be on Whitebeard's ship. Maybe he didn't also have anywhere else to go, so he wasn't maybe completely lying, but maybe he just needed to do that. So, yeah. Who wins, King or Fossa? Ooh, that's going to be tough. King can light himself on fire and is part of the ancient Lunarian race, but Fossa has a flaming sword. Okay, so going back to the super chats here, though. Let's see, where did I leave off here? Right there, okay. Hi, Teching. I was wondering if you've ever played, Obscure? Yeah, no, or Metaphor Rafan Tanzia. I've never heard of either of those games. Also, I really want to watch your Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play eventually, but I'm stuck on Act 1 because I suck at Baldur's Gate 3. Dude, it's okay. I've talked to one of my friends that we've been playing Baldur's Gate for, like, the longest time, and I asked about, like, Cazador's Manor, and she was like, yeah, I've never even gotten to Cazador's Manor yet, and she's been playing, like, as long as I have. So some people get really just stuck because there's so much stuff in that game. It's absurd. But, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Act 1 is easily the best. I think it's an argument to say Act 1 is the best out of all three, honestly. If we don't get a lot on Rocks, or maybe if we have a Rocks member trying to live up to Rocks, what if films... Oh, it's like, oh, okay, the next One Piece film. So we had Film Red, so we have Film Black about, like, Rox's, like, there's been talks about, like, having, like, a character's whole backstory of being a movie. I feel like that's not going to happen until, like, after One Piece has concluded. Maybe they would go back and do something like that. I don't see them making something like that while One Piece is still going on. Let's see. You should do a series of videos called, the Wang Week or something like that. That would be funny. That would be funny. I'm going on vacation again in a few weeks, so maybe I'll do some extra videos about Wang then. I wonder how different history would be if Harl did join Rocks. Ooh, sounds like a good what-if scenario video for me. Potential what-if. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm seeing that. That's going to be fun. Oh, Harold would have conquered the world. I also need to do a video on if Big Mom became a member of the Marines back then. Like, if she was actually sold to the Marines by Caramel, and if she grew up to be, like, she could have become an admiral. Like, it's very possible. So, yeah, maybe. How do you feel about the celestial dragons being sacrificial? Oh, and he let them get fat and lazy to sacrifice them if he needs more power. Like Eam doing that? Like that's Eam's like strategy or something like that? I don't even think if Eam really cares. Like, I don't even know if Emu really gives a shit even about the Gorosei, just for the sake of, like, you know, like he could just make another one. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you killed one of the Gorosei. Like, even then, I don't think Emu would have been that freaked out by Rox being there. So, yeah. Rox is probably the closest Emu has had to a friend. That's the sad thing. I mean, Gunko's also there, but I don't think Gunko and Emu, like, I don't think they were friends. It's more of like, you know, Gunko is Emu's, like, servant or whatever. Rox is just like, oh my God, there's somebody here to talk to. Somebody from the outside world. I haven't had anybody to talk to in 800 years that wasn't one of my own sycophants. Oh man, that would have been kind of weird, but yeah. I could see it. What did Blackbeard mean when he told Emu? Well, what did Rox mean when he told Emu, I will be back. I'll be back. At first, I thought Blackbeard could be Rox, but they obviously are two different people. Oh, yeah, they're very clearly two different people. Now, if you want to argue Rox is, like, inside of, like Blackbeard's soul or something, like multiple souls, and Rox is one of them, you can argue that. So, what this means, I'm going to stop here for a moment. I'll get back later to the Super Chats. But what this means to me is something maybe not exactly the same as when Roger found the One Piece, but something similar in the regard of Rox had to acknowledge he can't go any further than this, okay? It's not as simple as just taking out a gun, shooting Emu, and taking over. Because Rox wants to be king of the world, right? That is Rox's goal, to become king of the world. In order to become king of the world, he has to get rid of Emu first. At that moment, Rox calmly kind of has to admit to himself, there is no way to get rid of Emu right now. There's no way to get rid of him. There's no way for me to, like, steal his power or take his position. I've hit a dead end. I've hit a wall. Now I need to go back, leave, and come back someday with a different strategy. That's kind of what I got as the message here, right? Something similar to when Roger found the One Piece of, you know, we just left, we got here too early, there was nothing we could do. Could Emu be sealed, locked away? Like, Emu cannot physically leave Castle Pangaea unless they are possessing someone else, like a God's Knight. That's a popular theory. And so what if Emu is like, dude, you think I'm here by choice? You think I'm locked in this castle because, like, no, I would love to be out there ruling the fucking world. I can't. I'm stuck here. I can't leave. And it's not because of me. It's because Joy Boy locked me in here, son of a bitch. I can't leave now. So, literally, I'm stuck. You can't get rid of it. Like, if you can get rid of me, if you can get rid of the seal, go right ahead. And Rox is like, yeah, I don't have a way of doing that. It's like, all right, then I guess we're at a fucking stalemate then. It's like, there's nothing to do. Somebody explained it the best. I have to look up the comment, but somebody explained it as Rox just powered through the campaign of like a Final Fantasy game without doing any of the side quest or mini quest bullshit. None of the chocobo races or finding the ancient weapons or leveling them up or anything like that. Just bulldozes straight through to the final boss and realizes he hit a fucking wall and he's like, oh man, I can't win here. I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough to win the final boss. That's the best way for me. I've heard about it. Yeah. What if Emu is allergic to sunlight? Maybe. Emu is a vampire. Ooh. Sapphire scales. Oh, that's actually not bad. The sapphire scale thing isn't bad, actually. Emu might actually have that. Doesn't Shiki look like a young Kanjuro in the double page in 1155 and last double page of 1154? Could Shiki be a Kurozumi after all? So the version of that, actually, let me look up what the kanji was that was used there. I've seen thug, I've seen mobster, and I've seen yakuza. And Shiki kind of resembles a dude. He resembles a dude. He's just a dude. Wait a minute. All right. I know before I said that Shiki was going to show up in Elbaf, and that didn't work out, okay? I'm going to say Shiki is going to be the guy that was the grave at... Shiki is dead now, and he is buried in Ringo. That is the grave Yamato went to. All right? Let me bait. Yeah, Shiki is in the temple. He is in Wano. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, hold on a minute. Let me check something on the wiki for Shiki. I'm going to wiki Shiki. All right, hold on. All right. So, his title is... the Shiki the Golden Lion, the Flying Pirate. We know that. He was given the title of something. All right, let's see if it's here. Yeah, the theories are coming alive here. Let's see. Where is the title? No. I need the kanji. Yeah. Thug, because he was given a kanji in the chapter. Hold on a minute. I might have to look up the chapters, like the original Japanese, really quick. See if I can find this. Let's see. Does it say what sea Shiki was born in? No, it does not. I don't think he ever got a Vivra card, actually, because he was he was like an anime character. Oh, there it is. The term is thank you. He was the movie character, yeah. So, okay. So let's just chat GPT this really quick for the kanji. All right. What do these kanji mean? Okay, let's see what we got here. So, Gokudo is the kanji. Gokudo. So the kanji Goku. Goku, extreme, ultimate, pinnacle, to go to the utmost. That actually makes a lot of sense now for Goku's character. Often used in terms like extremely evil or ultimate, okay? And then Do, pathway or road. Same kanji as in Bushido, the way of the warrior, or Tao, or as in the Tao. So it can mean the extreme path, the ultimate way. How does that get to be? Okay. In One Piece, the term Gokudo can carry several nuanced meanings. Underworld vibe, Yakuza imagery. Okay. Okay. So, criminal underworld pirate ethos. Okay, wait a minute. So, does the actual term for Yakuza in our world use Gokudo? Because that's something important. Yes, it does. Okay. So that's kind of a way to refer to the Yakuza. So, like, and Shiki, by the way, like, even without this, like, title, Shiki's always had a Wano vibe, right? Like, he has, like, a kimono. He has the dual swords. Like, you could see him maybe being born somewhere else, but being raised in Ringo. You could kind of see that. And there's another example to this, too. Hold on. Let me pull that up for a second here. Higurashi, who was Orochi's grand aunt or something, has the ability to... She has the Mane Mane no Mi. So she could take the appearances of a bunch of different people. One of the people she takes an appearance of is Shiki. Yeah, but he's no hero. We don't know what the people of Wano thought of Shiki. We have zero idea. They never mentioned him. Okay? Maybe... Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! I just had an idea. What if Kaido takes over Wano, right? And if Shiki, let's say, okay, all right, I'm just gonna, there's a lot of moving pieces here, but let me see if I can put them together. Okay. So, Shiki's born in the West Blue. He somehow ends up in Wano, and he spends his formative years in Wano. Like, let's say he spends his, like, childhood, his teenage years, training in Wano, learning about the culture, getting the swords, and all that kind of shit, right? Then he leaves, and stuff happens, yada, yada, yada. He eventually ends up joining the Rocks Pirates, okay? So he's on the Rocks Pirates, and then God Valley happens. They all go their separate ways. Eventually, Kaido ends up at Wano, and he's taken the place over, and Orochi's there. What if Shiki was like, oh, hell nah, I'm not letting Kaido ruin my fucking homeland. That's where I was raised. I grew up there. Fuck Kaido. So Shiki went to be like, maybe this could have been 20 fucking years ago. This could have been 15 fucking years ago. He goes to want to be like, they're ruining my country. They've established all of these factories. Maybe Kaido was like, work for me. And Shiki's like, fuck you. And he like goes to fight him, and Kaido beat his ass and killed him. And now he's a hero. How about that? How about that? Shiki didn't ask Whitebeard to help him because they hate each other. Well, they're like rivals. Like, I could see Shiki not wanting any of the other Rocks Pirates to help him. That's not what he would do, right? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's what went down, right? I can't live with a dead Shiki. Like, well, if he's in the tomb, he's dead, unless he comes back as a zombie. We'll be going through the super chats. Don't worry. We're not gonna end the stream without reading the super chats. I'm coping so hard. In this version, Shiki's dead. Oh no, Kaido killed Shiki. Or maybe Kaido working together, like he had like his full power crew at that point, worked together, killed Shiki. Yeah. Dead Shiki is not my Shiki. I love how in this chapter about Wang and Ganzui and Marlin, we're talking about Shiki of all people. I'm okay with that. Shiki's cool. Look at the guy. He's fucking badass. Look at this guy. Look at this dude. Look at this motherfucker right here. Oh, man. Shiki. Let's have a toast to Shiki. Raise your glasses to Shiki, the golden lion, the flying pirate, the Yakuza, Gokudo, go beyond plus ultra, sir. All right. So, who's next? Yeah, fuck it. Let's talk about, let's see. I mean, okay. You know what's fucking insane? There's so much crap that happens this chapter. I've heard, like, nobody even mention the double-page spread where Rox and Harald clash. Like, people mention it as part of the reviews and stuff, I'm sure, but, like, there's so much other crazy lore stuff that, like, oh, yeah, they clashed, whatever. It was, like, a lot of hockey. Everybody within a 5-kilometer radius got knocked out by this. 5 kilometers. What is that in freedom units? Hold on a minute. Let me just... Alexa. Kilometers in miles.
5 kilometers is about 3.1
3.11 miles. We've seen it before. It's like, this is a crazy double page spread. Harold, like, two-hands his sword, like, whoa! And then not Shiki, then I still have Shiki, I'm thinking about him. Then Rox pulls out his sword. Wait a minute. Is Shiki only, I keep saying Shiki, damn it. Is Rox using two hands? Is Rox using two hands to clash with Harold or only one? This is important. This is relevant. Oh, there's so much crazy shit in this chapter. Freedom units. Oh, I've heard that one before. I did not come up with that one. All right. I think this motherfucker's only using one hand. Harold's two-handing that giant greatsword. I think Rox is only using one hand. Oh my god, no. Is he using two? I don't see two hands. I'm looking at the... Hold on. It's so hard to tell. Hold on. What would you call that? It's a very, very zoomed in like image of Rox, but like, is that two? I don't see two arms on that sword. I don't see two hands. Oh, his second hand could be reinforcing the blade. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. So like, you know what? We'll use. Oh, I have so many swords back here. Okay. All right. So like, you know, I'm like Ame no Habakiri here. So yeah, he could be like doing this. He could be like, you know, like blocking it like that. One-handed style. Rock style. All right. One of the trivia questions, one of the hard trivia questions was naming Momonosuke's sword. A lot of people got it wrong. That was one of the hard questions for the thing, because everybody mostly knew Enma. But I'm like, do you know the one that has the longer name? Also, I didn't, when I was doing the trivia, I said at the beginning, like, you can give the English name or the Japanese name. Like, I'm not gonna dock points for that. When it came up to Ame no Habakiri, somebody was like, oh, do we get points if we wrote down the English name of Ame no Habakiri? And I actually did not know that. I genuinely was like, I don't know what the English translation is. Enma is King of Hell. I didn't know what Ame no Habakiri was. So my friend Kevin was sitting next to me. I'm like doing the presentation in my suit. I kind of lean over to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, really quick, can you just hang on a second, guys? Can you just, it's like check. And it means snake slicer or feathery cutter of heaven or something like that in English. Yeah, it's not Moon Piercer, no. So you would have gotten it wrong. But no, like the official translation is like, yeah, Snake Slicer or something like that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So he might have been using two-sword style, or maybe he might have been going full Kenpachi with it. Dude, literally this entire chapter is just Oda, like, every page practically is a new feat and flex from Rox. Like, Oda, like, had to sit down and, like, all right, motherfuckers, let's go. Every page, he clashed with Harold, and it caused a giant impact crater. And he sat down in the Room of Flowers, and he was the only guy to ever do that. And then, oh, he blew up a Gate of Justice. Oh, then he blew up a ship and stole the Heavenly Tribute. Oh, yeah. And then he defeated all these pirate crews, and he got Whitebeard and everybody working for him. Yeah. Like, that was everything. All right, let's move back to the super chats here. We're about an hour into this. All right, let's move back to the super chaps here. All right, the super chaps. Hello there, chap. Hello there, old chap. All right. That's where we left off. Okay. Does Rox have a devil fruit? I mean, maybe. It might be the Yami Yami no Mi, because Blackbeard wanted to go after it. So Blackbeard knew he needed the Yami Yami no Mi for his plan. He said as much in volume 45 when he fought Ace. So he learned at some point, I need to get my hands on the Yami Yami no Mi, and he was dedicated to taking decades on Whitebeard's ship to find that fruit. So maybe Rox had it, and that's the reason he wants it. Or what if Rox was like, if I had that power, like if Rox got his hands on the Yami Yami no Mi, maybe because it can absorb other abilities, maybe that was like, oh, if I had this power to absorb your power, Emu, then I could be king of the world. Maybe that was the idea. Do you think the Admiral Rox killed was Zed from Film Z? So it wouldn't work in the timeline of the movie, but if you want to change that around so it was Zephyr, I'd be 100% cool with that, because Zephyr is just a really badass looking character and he had a cool personality. Might have to change the personality a bit, but not too much. He would have had to have lived like 56 years ago. I think because in the in the story, he's talked as like a contemporary with like Garp and everybody like that, being like a childhood friend of Garp, or maybe somebody that joined the Marines with Garp and then was murdered. That would be cool. No. You know what would be better? No. Garp's mentor. Who was the one that taught Garp? So Garp, 56 years ago would have been... that was the year they joined the Marines, and I think that like Garp would have been 22 or something like that. So obviously, if Zephyr was 22, was like the same age as Garp, obviously he wouldn't be an admiral. So if Zephyr was like in his mid-50s, 56 years ago when he was an admiral, and he was the one that, just like how Garp trained Aokiji, and Aokiji eventually became an admiral, same deal. If you want to switch it around that way, I think that would make sense. That would work. I would love it just to be Zed. Just make it Zed. I want Marlin every time. Oh, like the fish thing. Yeah, we'll talk about Marlin in a moment here. Just kind of going through some super chats, kind of get those taken care of, and then we'll loop back. Today's chapter feels bigger than usual. I'm expected to see some One Piece live action reveals or a new special anime soon with the upcoming month. I mean, this has been crazy with all the stuff we've been getting lately. Thank you, Marco, for the 5. I think Emu's shadow powers cover up his ugliness. Oh, he's like, don't look at me! Don't look at me! You know, or something like that. Maybe. That would be a shocker. That would really hurt everybody that wants Emu to be sexy goth girl. Sexy goth baddie. It's just like, he's just like, oh no, don't look at me. My horrendous. It was like the Phantom of the Opera or some shit. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Yeah. Dad tier list next, maybe. Let's see. So if Emu would be a woman, let's just say hypothetically now, and Lily was a woman, you know, I always knew the world is secretly ruled by an evil divorced lesbian. Oh my God. Maybe that's the twist. I don't know. Jay, thank you for the 20. Can't believe Law, Kobe, and Blackbeard took down Wang. Even with Kobe, Law, and Blackbeard working together to take down Wang, that's tough. Also, Wang would have been, like, in the retirement home at that point, and he could still kick ass. That's another thing. Like, if he was the leader of, like, a cult, you could picture, like, 90-year-old Wang. 90-year-old Wang ruling over, like, he's wearing, like, fancy flowing robes, like he's the high priest or some shit, and he's like, I rule over you, the pirate cult. Could be something like that. I would love to see a female Holy Knight who's a Western gunslinger, kind of like Stark from Bleach. Oda's a big fan of the Old West. A lot of his original mangas, like Ryuma's manga, Monsters, kind of focuses on, like, it's a samurai, he's a samurai, but it's in like an Old West kind of town. And then Wanted, where Gil Bastar first appears, is also taking place in a Old Western town. So Oda's definitely a fan of that aesthetic. I would like to see something like that featured as well. That would be fine. Thank you, Sarah, for meeting you at Techo. That was a lot of fun. Hope you're back next year. We'll be doing the trivia contest again. Let's see. Could Emu be possessed by Davy Jones? It's just a series of possessions. That's One Piece. That's the ruler of the world. Davy Jones possesses Emu. Emu possesses Gunko. Rox wanted to possess Emu. It's like the title of ruler of the world has been passed down since the first age. And it's like you just have to keep like taking over the, like if you kill the former user somehow. You get the power against your will. Even if you don't want the power, you get that. You're locked in Castle Pangaea. You cannot leave, and that's what you have, right? And then maybe eventually over the centuries, even if you're good, you just go mad with, like, you just go insane at some point, right? Like, at a certain point, being locked in a castle with these powers and unable to leave for, like, 100 years, you'd just be driven insane, probably, you know? I meant to say Loki following Blackbeard, but didn't realize I left Loki's name out. No, you're okay, man. You're all right. That's fine. That's fine. Thanks for the 10 and the former super chat as well. Okay. A lot of people have been saying this. What if Loki just follows Blackbeard? What if it's a complete misdirect? Loki's not going to join Luffy's crew, but he's going to join Blackbeard's crew instead. And I'm like, hey, we already have a giant on Blackbeard's crew. We already have San Juan Wolf. So like they kind of have like Zoro and Sanji's objections were like, he's too big to fit on the ship, Luffy. You know, our food budget's going to go through the roof. We can't have him on our ship. I'm just saying those objections mean nothing for Blackbeard. Blackbeard would welcome Loki. If that's the twist, I'd welcome that. That would be a crazy twist. Then Luffy might have to fight Loki at some point, like for serious. Do you think Emu has blood relations to Estrid in some manner? Weird why Loki's eyes are demonic. Estrid is an act, or like maybe ancient giant, maybe you were trying to say? So there's definitely going to be a reveal of why Loki's eyes are that, you know, something to tie into like maybe the first age when like maybe Loki is a descendant of the true demon giants, like the ones that lived even long before Orz's day. Like he was part of the originals, okay? And maybe they had like demon eyes because they were actual demons, like legit Kishin or something like that, right? Related to Estrid, yeah, maybe that line, maybe it's like the Mazako from Yu Yu Hakusho, where it's like a demon gene that lies dormant inside of the blood or the lineage factor until there's somebody that can handle it, and that was Loki. And then so it just passed down through hundreds of years or thousands of years in this case, and eventually made it to Loki. It's possible. Let's see. Hey, Tekking, is the Domi Reversi a portal to the demon world? The Straw Hats could isekai to also, we can talk about Harald having conquerors by being peaceful with others instead of the usual acknowledge me. That's a very interesting way of like, he had conquerors, but a different way to express that conquerors. Just like, you know, this isn't conquerors, but Otohime had observation hockey, but it was specifically meant for empathy, to be an empath, to like share your emotions with others. So you could have conquerors hockey not in the respect of like, I want to conquer and subjugate, but I want to just be, you know, we want to all rule as one, or like work together, like unite under this vibe or something like that. I guess that does make sense. Yeah. Yeah. The Straw Hats going to the demon realm. One Piece Daima. Ken. I messed up the lyrics to that song. Hold on. Let's see. Akira, hey, Shenron. Yeah, close enough. But yeah, it's Dragon Ball Daima, but it's One Piece Daima. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't Shiki look like a young Kondro? That was the question that got us talking about Shiki for like 10 minutes. Oh, by the way, could Shiki be a Kurozumi after all? Very possibly. I mean, I don't know about a Kurozumi. I don't know Kurozumi. I'm thinking maybe a person that maybe was raised in Wano, though. Yeah. Maybe you need one of the ancient weapons or something from Laugh Tale to kill Emu. Oh, yeah. That'd be a thing. Like, he was like, oh, he gets there and he's like, I don't have, because he was sure that like, okay, I can't kill you right now, but I can leave and I will be back someday. So the implication was not, I'm just going to give up. It was, there's a series of like order of operations here I can do to get back here and beat you and take your power and be king of the world. That was the implication. So Yami Yami no Mi might have been part of that. One of the ancient weapons might have been part of that. Maybe the One Piece is part of that. Who knows? Both Claire, Obscure, and Mate 4, they probably the top 2 games released within the last year. Both are turn-based RPGs. One is French and the other is Japanese. I will check. I love turn-based RPGs. That's probably like my favorite genre of video game. So I'll probably check one of those out, or both of them out. Definitely. Thank you. Let's see. A video about Zebek's era. Oh, okay. Like his era was different from because like the pirates have talked about that, like Garp talked about like back in Rox's era shit was tougher, you know, it was harder back then, and then like, you know, kids these days you know, like typical boomer talk. But like, yeah, we can make a video talking about like the different eras for sure, especially since we're learning a lot of stuff about the way it was like 50 years ago now. Yeah. You should do a reverie one day. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts with a reverie. Absolutely. Do you think, let's see. Katakuri will go to Hachinosu to rescue Pudding, or go with the Big Mom Pirates or something else? Well, if Big Mom is out of the picture, like, or she's in a coma or some shit right now, Pudding is captured, I could see Katakuri wanting to go and save his sister, because I could see that he'd been a good older brother and everything like that. But then also there has to be some to like take care of Big Mom if Big Mom is not like dead. If she's just dead, then it's like, okay, we'll bury her, and then, you know, Katakuri or Perospero take over the family, I guess, because I think Perospero's still alive. I don't think Nekomamushi killed him. At least I don't think his status is that he's dead. It was never confirmed, like, straight up that he is dead. No, he's still alive. We might have even have seen him at the very end of Wano. Let me just double check really quick. Let's see. Yeah, no, he's still alive. He's still alive. He's not dead. Yeah, he's... Oh, wait, no. Wait. Nope, the last time we saw him was when Nekomamushi used one sword style... cat bon, you know, he attacked him with like like a cool, like it was Odin style, one sword style, right? So that was the last time we saw him. So maybe he's dead, maybe he's still alive. Katakuri would be the next captain anyway. I just hope that at least one of the Rocks pirates had a weak devil fruit, like the jacket fruit or something. The smooth fruit, like the slip fruit, Alvida's fruit, that can actually be useful. I wouldn't call that one weak. Or completely master at making a weak fruit overpowered. Yeah, if it was like somebody at Marlin had the jacket fruit, but he was a real badass with it, that would be sweet. That would have been cool. I want to see the origin of the jacket fruit. Probably never will in the story, but man, it'll be nice to see that thing. Thank you for the 10. Marco for another 20. Oh, whoa, we got more. What drives Blackbeard to assimilate to Rocks and his crew? Is there something about his soul or Blackbeard's mom, his childhood, or maybe his devil fruit? He spirals like a black hole that keeps him gravitated to his dad. It might be a twist where like Ace rejected his dad but accepted his mom's name. What if Blackbeard was being raised in a perfectly like healthy household? Like, you know, his mom was raising him and everything was great, but then Blackbeard's like, no, I want to leave home and you know, rule the world. And Blackbeard's mom was like, no, honey, please stay here and eat our pie, our apple pie. It's so great. Or cherry pie. It would be cherry pie. Eat the cherry pie. It's so great. And Blackbeard's like, no, mom, I want to go out there and be king of the world like dad. And maybe it was something like that. Like he had the option to stay behind in the nice, peaceful household. There was nothing bad, no downsides to it, but he chose to abandon that lifestyle. Between Rocks, Emmett, Fisher Tiger, and the Revolutionary Army, there sure are a lot of intruders on the Celestial Dragon's castle. By the way, why is Emu giving a fuck now? Like, Emu was like, hey, you God's Knights are taking too long. The Holy Land is in flames right now. It's like, it was in flames when Fisher Tiger attacked. It was apparently in upheaval and in flames when Rocks attacked, kidnapped 5 kings, and the whole place was kind of being attacked. Emu didn't seem to give a shit then. All of a sudden, Emu's like, oh no, Joy Boy's back now. Now I care. Now I all of a sudden care. It's like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, the idea that like that might seem like a lot of people breaking into the Holy Land, but you got to also keep in mind, the government has been in control for 800 years. That there might only be like 1, 2, 3, 4 times that's happened. Or like let's say the Holy Land was invaded a dozen times. A dozen times in 800 years? That's a pretty good fucking track record, all things considered, right? It does happen occasionally. It's just extremely rare. But then again, this is like the end of the story, right? Like we're learning about like the end of this story will be the fall of the Tenryubito, the fall of Emu. This is the end of the Third Age. We are reading the story of the end of the Third Age right now. That is what One Piece is. Has Oda ever said why exactly Garp joined the Navy? I don't think he has. No, it was just Garp, Sengoku, and Suru all joined at the same time. If Blackbeard wanted the Yami Yami no Mi because of rocks, maybe he wanted it to counter Emu's fruit. Yeah, so that's like kind of like we mentioned that a little bit earlier. Freak llama. Thank you for the 20. But yeah, it could have been like, oh, rocks needed it to defeat Emu, went to go look for it, couldn't find it, died at God Valley, left the will to his son. Blackbeard goes to find the Yami Yami because Blackbeard joined Whitebeard's crew when he was like 12. He didn't end up getting the Yami Yami no Mi until recently. Like it was right before the start of the story he got it. He was like 40 years old when he got it. So that's like 30 years he spent on Whitebeard's crew looking for one fruit, and he literally could not do anything else until he got that power. Is Rocks just Genghis Khan? Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. He's Gilgamesh, he's Beowulf, he's like every awesome dude that ever exists. He's Heracles, he's everything. Well, Odin is more Hercules than anything with his backstory, but yeah, he's like every badass character to ever exist ever. Have you seen the new Lego One Piece sets? No, I have. Well, no, I saw the advertisement to them. Have I actually like spent a lot of time looking into the Lego sets or thought about buying them? Not really. I might buy them at some point. We can put them together. I know that Oda got a Devil Fruit Lego, like a Lego Gumu Gumu no Mi. I saw that. There was a little video where he opened up the chest and it was in there, so that was pretty cool. Hey, Tekking, I personally think Emu is a man who is shorter than Luffy but shares his physique. Most major villains tower over Luffy. It would be fun subversion if the villain was actually shorter than him. That would actually be really funny. What if Emu's a Tontada? Emu's a Tontada in a robot suit, in like a little puppet suit. That would be really funny. Thanks for the 10 shell shock. Oda connecting Blackbeard and Rocks to show that blood bonds don't matter and that Blackbeard might feel entitled to be king like his dad, but he's doomed to fail. There's definitely a parallel there. I'm okay with Blackbeard being the son of Rocks and Luffy like not having a blood relation to Roger or Shanks because it's a different story. Here's a story of like the bloodline being carried out literally. Here's the other story of an inherited will carried out. So it's like Luffy and Roger obviously would have gotten along together. They would have really vibed with one another. That doesn't mean they have to be related, and it's okay because that will carries on. Yes. I looked up Ganzui's name. The Ganzhou, oh yeah, I cannot pronounce that correctly. I saw that earlier, but there was no way I'm pronouncing that right. Was established by the refugees in modern-day Gansu after the fall of so it was a... Hold on, what era of history is this? Is this like when the Khans were ruling or something? Let me just type this in really quickly. It was... Here it is. Okay, it's 744 to 840. So it's not quite at the point when the Mongolian like empire existed, okay? Because that was the largest contiguous land empire ever. It was massive, okay? It was the Yuan dynasty in China. It was the Golden Horde up where, like, modern day, like northern Russia and, like, oh, what's the name of that country? I'm blanking on it right now. It starts with a B. But yeah, like, and then there were two others, okay? And so that kind of made up these four, like, sections of the Mongolian Empire. It was massive. All right, so this was a little bit before that, though. But it was a Turkish empire. Okay, yeah. Right. So this was before, like, Genghis Khan and shit like that. Genghis Khan came a lot later than this. But yeah, I had to read up on this a little bit. Yeah. I thought that advanced conquerors can be molded into different shapes and sizes, usually sword attacks that would be able to slice, but Rocks made it into a blunt force attack to attack Loki, like a giant hammer or cannon. Well, I mean, like, if it was conquerors, like, if that was the reason why he was able to do it, not because of a devil fruit, but it was just conquerors. Like, I imagine you get to a certain level of conquerors where you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want with it. Maybe not in the way of, like, Nen, the way Nen works in Hunter x Hunter, like, you can do literally anything, but, like, it's more freedom because it is your ability and it is the ability of conquering. So it's like, it's your power that you can shape and mold. Like, if he wants to just augment his sword swings and, like, use a sword attack but create blunt damage, he could do that. Even, like, I made a video years ago about, like, elemental hockey. The idea of having, like fire conquerors or ice or lightning, like that could, I mean, I know there's already like black lightning that comes out of it, but like actual like shocking damage or something like that, I could see it. Is Wang Zhi Caribou's father? They look identical. Very likely that, yeah, he could be, yeah. And the last question here, do you think we'll get a chapter on Garp and Rocks fighting for the first time? And then there's another one that came in. And then there's another one that came in. Dang. All right. Do you think we'll get a chapter on Garp and Rocks fighting for the first time? Yes. Eventually we will get that. Maybe not now in this flashback, but maybe we'll get a God Valley flashback. We'll see the whole fight from start to finish. And then also I want to see, like, Garp is chained up at Hachinosu right now. And Garp would have known, if he knows what Rocks looks like and he knows what Blackbeard looks like, then he would be able to connect the dots. Garp's not that stupid, you know. Finally caught a stream. Do you think Blackbeard will return in Rocks' place to defeat Emu? Or is Rocks actually Blackbeard? Woo! Yeah, I mean, like, it's a question, right? Like, is Emu going to be defeated and then Blackbeard takes over and then Luffy has to beat Blackbeard? Or is it, like, going to be Emu, Blackbeard, and Luffy all fighting together? Is it going to be like, okay, Emu's taken care of, now Luffy has to fight Blackbeard? I don't know. My girlfriend asked me, is that a brick? I remember a few pieces of lore, but not all. So could you do a Barry week explaining all of his lore? Oh, that's a lot of... We don't have time. A week wouldn't do it. 100 years might be not long enough to explain Barry. But yeah, this is my sidekick, Barry the Brick. Say hi, Barry. He said hi. All right. So going back here to the regular chat, we're also about, like, yeah, I'm probably going to be winding it down here, but, like, thank you so much to everybody showing up for this. We got, like, 1,400 viewers in here. Thanks to everybody for the super chats. Oh, man, it's been a long day because I had, like, you know, drive all the way back and everything and unpack everything. But, like, yeah, I had to do something because, like, we, I was a guest this year at Techo at the convention, and it was a lot of fun, and thanks to the whole Techo staff for inviting me. I think next year I might just do, like, 1 day or 2 days there, just because, like, taking the 4 days out, like, you know, like, making videos just becomes a little bit more harder doing that. So maybe I'll just do the trivia next year, but we'll see. We'll see how the schedule shakes down, really. Yes, Tekking needs to cook dinner. I am getting hungry, although I was walking my neighborhood and my neighbor just kind of shouted up at me from his deck, and he was just like, hey, Matt, you want a hot dog? And I'm like, yeah. So I had, like, a hot dog, and then I came over here and I'm filming this now, you know. So, yeah, that's how it goes. I'm not going to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to, in a few weeks, my mom and me are going to L.A., because there is a convention. There is a Friday the 13th horror movie convention, and a bunch of people from the movies are going to be there. And my mom got me into those horror movies when I was like 7. My mom was like, yeah, you watch Friday the 13th, it's fine. Terrified me as a kid, but, like, you know, I got into horror movies because of that. And a lot of the actors in those movies are not, they're not, like, super old, but they are, like, in their 60s, and, like, some of them are in their 70s now. And I don't know, like I don't want to miss this convention and then not ever get a chance to, like, see the actors from the movies, you know, if they get, like, you know, too old to the point where, like, they're not doing conventions anymore, and then I don't end up seeing them. And so I thought that would be a fun thing for me and my mom to do. Yeah, free hot dog. Yeah, my neighbors are awesome. They invite me over all the time to play like Yahtzee. We played a game called Ups and Downs, which is like a card game with like a deck, like a normal, like, deck of, like, poker cards. We played what was the other game we played? They got me into Dominion, which we played some games in my game room, and I went over there and played stuff with them before. Yeah. Cheesecake Factory. I ate at Cheesecake Factory on Thursday. That was the first place I ordered because I'm like, I love Cheesecake Factory. Okay. You need to get some tasty Mexican food when I'm out there. Yeah, I know a lot of people that live in LA, so I'm probably going to reach out to them and be like, hey, you have, like, dinner or something like that. Yeah, I know a couple people that live out there, yeah. What is Harald's last name? Harald Giant Son. So typically in, like, you know, Viking culture, it would be like Thorfinn, son of Thors. It would be like literally Leif Erikson's daughter is named Freya Eric's daughter. Like, literally her last name was Eric's daughter. Yeah. So you can see how it kind of goes there a little bit. So maybe, you know, Harald's dad was Thor's. So Harald Thorson or something like that. It might be, yeah. Dominion sounds suspiciously emu related. It's a fun card, like, resource collecting game. Like, you know how, like, in Catan, there's a board and you got to collect resources? Dominion's just, you get rid of the board and it's just collecting resources. But it's a lot more intricate than I'm making it sound. Thorfinn, son of Thors. Yeah, because that's literally how it goes. Yeah, the last chapter of Vinland Saga is going to be released in a few days. I'm not ready, ladies and gentlemen. The end of an era. Makoto Yukimura, one of the greatest mangakas of our time. Oh, man, we did like an hour and a half of live stream, and I'm winding down because I'm tired, and I'm going to go make dinner, but there's still lots to talk about. Lots to discuss. Ugh. Vinland Saga's ending. Yep, last chapter. Pretty soon. So if you're gonna get caught up on Vinland Saga, and if you want to read the last chapter, it usually drops like the English version around like the 24th, 25th of the month. So if you want to get caught up, now's the time. Do I have to catch up quick? I mean, if you want to read the chapter in a few days when it comes out, like you maybe got like 4 or 5 days until it comes out, probably. I don't know when season 3 is coming out. I don't even know if season 3 was announced. Oh, I finished season 2 of Apothecary Diaries the other night. That was a good ending. That was a good one. I know that's already been announced. That wasn't the ending of the series, though. Season 3 was announced. Yeah. Is Vinland Saga worth it? Fuck yes, it is. I'm working on a Gunko theory. Want to help? I'm doing like a lot of stuff this week, sorry, so probably not, Amanda. I'm also doing a collab with Sai this week. That's going to be, I think on Tuesday we're filming that, but thanks for the offer. But yeah, I got so much stuff. That's another reason. Like, I did the con for 4 days. That was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I met all my fans there, and a lot of my friends helped me out and everything. But like, it was also like, oh, I'm so behind on shit now. Imagine Emu's attacks and playbook is all tabletop. Oh, yeah, like it's all board game shit. I would be okay with that. I'd be okay with that 100%, yeah. Rox was also a swordsman that buffs Mihawk. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mihawk versus Rox. Maybe Rox was the one that taught Mihawk. Just keep adding on. Rox was the one that forged Yoru with his own bones and gave it to gave it to Mihawk. I'm actually okay with, I made a video a long time ago, and I think Liam also made a video about this. I'm okay with Rayleigh being the one that maybe instructed Mihawk. I'm okay with that. Roger kind of taught Shags. Mihawk was taught by Rayleigh. That's interesting, yeah. Emu, yeah, when Emu busts out the D20, that's when you know shit's gonna get live. Emu just like, and then like a D20 just emerges like, oh no! Oh shit. And then he rolls a 1 and Emu just blows up. And that's how One Piece ends. Oh, that's taken care of. No, I haven't uploaded. I haven't even taken the SD card out of my camera yet for the trivia contest. I still have to. That's one of the projects I'm working on this week. On top of talking about this insane chapter, which thankfully, okay, probably not to you guys, but thankfully for me, there's a break this week. There's no chapter this week, which is good because that gives me some breathing room and time to get a video out about Wang Zhi, get a video out about Ganzui, talk about Rox's aura, talk about like back then in the day killing an admiral, upload the trivia contest. Like that's giving me time to do that stuff. So yeah, thank you, Oda. Thank you. Just read today's chapter. About to watch your review. It's a routine. I already know it's going to start with Wang Zhi. Okay, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I filmed that review in a hotel room, so I could not shout Wang at the top of my lungs. Who talks about Wang in a hotel room? Nobody, I say. Oh, yeah, I got to rest as well. Yes, it's been a long few days. A lot of fun, but a lot of work, a lot of stuff, a lot of talking. Yeah. Yeah, and then the latest episode. I haven't even seen the episode, honestly. I am just... Ugh. A lot of shit going on here. Just whisper, Wang Zhi. There we go. Oh, man, yeah. And I honestly, like, I was talking, like, I couldn't whisper the entire review, so I had to talk. And the entire time I'm filming in a hotel room, I'm like, right on the other side of the wall, right in front of me, is another room. I'm kind of hoping no one's in that room, or they're not in right now, because, like, I had to talk for, like, a solid hour and 10 minutes filming that review. They were probably over there like, oh, shut the fuck up about One Piece already. It's like, I'm sorry, it's my job. Like, no one said anything, but, like, I was half expecting, like, someone to knock on my door at some point, like, hey, you've been talking, like, kind of loud for the last hour. Can you please stop? I'm like, I know. I'm going to wrap it up soon. I'm so sorry. That did not happen, but I was, like, waiting for it, because I'm like, it's a hotel room. I don't want to bother anybody, but I do need to review this chapter. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Wang Zhi is not as cool as Wang Yi from Kingdom. By the way, the most recent chapter of Kingdom. That was a twist I did not expect. Oh, there's no new episodes this week. Oh, okay. Well, that gives me something not to do. 63 years ago, Brook is 28. But we see that Gunko is already an adult, so Brook must have been around 18 when Gunko was a child. Yeah, I mean, we see Gunko as a little kid walking next to Brook. So, yeah, Brook could have been, like, a teenager. He was always, like, a tall, lanky fellow. You know what I mean? And she was just probably like, I want to join the Royal Knights, too, or some shit like that. I don't know. But, yeah, we're about an hour and a half in. I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to go take a rest and get some dinner. Thank you all for the super chats. I think I got them all. I was answering them as we went. I think that's all of them anyway. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Do you think the flower room could be the very peak of the Eve tree, and the light at the ocean floor is the bottom of the tree? Well, the light at the ocean floor is the bottom of the tree. The tree transmits light. So the top is... The tree would only make sense as if it is built into the red line, because we do not see a giant tree anywhere. The tree has to be part of the red line, which means that if it's destroyed, then it just breaks apart and there's just a giant tree that's revealed. That makes sense. I mean, not really, but it's One Piece, so it makes sense. You should do outdoor reviews. Oh, yeah, annoy the entire neighborhood. Maybe I could go find the field. Do a whole review in the field. I was at the field a little while ago. I was visiting my mom, and I walked over to the field. I'm like, yep, this is the old field. It looks the same. The field looks the same. Yeah. You literally skipped my super chat. Well, Rimuru, I could just do this. Is Oda the narrator? Also, what if Emu has Roger and Rox's body? I want to know what happened to Rox's body. Like, that's not even, like, there's just a little trivia fact. No, that's actually something really relevant to the story. So Emu had Rox's body. Let me think about that for a second. Like, if Emu does have the ability to possess people, and then, like, Rox dies at God Valley, and because of the hubris, I don't think so. I don't feel it. Also, when Emu was in the room, like the first time we see Emu, one of the first times we see Emu, there's like two different sheets of, there's two wanted posters, or like there was Luffy's and Blackbeard's, and Emu sliced up both of them. And that's the reason why, because Emu's pissed at Joy Boy because Luffy's Joy Boy, and then also pissed at Blackbeard because Rox. So that explains that. You're already home? Yeah, I drove back earlier today. Drove back, unpacked, ate really quick, had a hot dog. Now I'm doing this. And I'm going to go get some more food here in a minute. So, yeah. Oh, but yeah, dude. All right. I think I'm going to call it at that point. Are we getting God Valley next? I don't know how far Oda's going to go with this. Although, I want to leave you on this. Always remember, this is very important, always remember that Loki is telling this entire flashback in 3 minutes. I don't know how he knows the parts he wasn't there for, but he's telling the entire flashback in 3 minutes to Hiruden. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking signing out. Later, everybody. Have a good night.